I'm a 19-year-old baby. I'm not a baby at all, but I like a life of crime and it makes me feel very good, and I stood there with a gun and I yelled at an old lady, told her to give me your purse, and I ran away from the law. They chased me down, they grabbed me, threw me against the wall, told me I just did the crime, so I have to do the time. They read me my Miranda rights and everything was said. Now I'm in jail in a prison cell, looking out through the window. My roommate comes in. The first time I saw my roommate, he looked me in the eye. He was about 10 feet tall. He was black and he was buff. I got scared and I got on my bed. I got on the up part of the bed, and I laid there and curled up, and he said, "That in my bed, bitch." So he grabbed me and threw me to the ground, right off that bed up high. He said, "You sleep down there." I said, "I'll sleep on the bottom bunk." "No," I said, "sleep on the ground." Like, "Can I at least take the mattress?" "No, you sleep on the ground." And I was like, "Please, I am begging. I want to sleep on the bed." So he looks me in the eye and says, "If you don't mind my snoring." So I was like, what did that do? So I got on the bed. He crawls up to the top bunk and it comes crashing down on me. I feel my insides caving and he's crushing me to death. So I crawl back out of that bed and I curl up on the floor. Brains like a shotty in that bed. He's probably 300 or 400 pounds, and generally I lay curled up in the corner. Then he comes up to me in the middle of the night. He looks me in the eye again and hits me with his fist. And I wake and he is standing there fully unclothed. He put a sheet over the gates. He says, "I can't sleep alone. Get up there with me. I sleep naked, so get up beside me." I'm like, "I'd rather sleep on the floor. You were crushing me at night." He was like, "Well, I told you not to sleep on that bed. I want you next to me in this one." So I'm laying next to him. He's got me in a grip and he is touching me all over. And I'm like, "How long have you been here?" He says, "Only 20 years. I'm like, "How old are you? You look a lot younger than that." He said, "Well, I came here when I was only 16 at the most. Now I want you, I'm really horny now." So he touching my side and touching my body, touching me all over. I ask him, "Please, I don't want this." He says, "It's too damn late." So he takes down my pants, and I'm in squeamish position, and now he's suing my asshole. His dick tears apart my anus. No condom, no lube, so it's an agonizing pain. You jamming it up in there and blood comes squirting out my butthole. I'm crying out, I'm screaming out, and a guard comes to the gate. A guard says, "What's going on?" and opens up that gate. He spins me off that bed and I land on the ground hard as a rock. The guard looks at me and the guard says, "What happened here?" He doesn't look very good. His asshole was turned inside out. We need to get him to the infirmary. And the guard looks at the guy standing there all innocent looking, say, "I don't know." but a dick is still hanging out with my blood hanging off it. So the god tells him to get back into isolation and solitude, where he stays for only about a day. Apparently, raping me wasn't so bad for him because I'm now good. I'm laying in a bed, they stitched up what's left of my rectum, so I'm feeling okay now. I guess all might be okay. I feel like I am fine. Then a guard comes in and looks me right in the eye. He says, "We got the test back. Guy who raped you had AIDS." I was like, "My God, what about me?" He said, "Well, you are lucky now. You do not have the AIDS." So I went back to another jail cell with another man. This one was scrawny and little, so I thought it was okay. Except that he turned out to be a rapist and pedophile. He laid there in bed with me, not next to me, but under. He wanted to be underneath me, 'cause he could feel the warmth from me. I could feel him sticking hands up and caress me all over my body. I jumped up and I said, "You know what, I could have beat up the last guy, but I'll definitely beat up you." And then he says, "I have friends." And the guard opened the gate. Middle of the night, there were 3 guys coming in there, massive. Both came at me with Ardrick, so I tried to avoid them. I dived and I rolled and I tumbled and I grabbed. I thrusted back and I kicked it to the knee. Fell to the ground and I smacked him with my knee. And then he hit the pavement ground and I took out the gates. A guard standing there, a baton in his hand. He smacked me across the face and put me in isolation. Well, at least I am alone now. Then I looked around. That black guy was in there with me. I thought this was isolation. Is there somebody in here with me? I was banging at the gate and he grabbed me and he raped me. He said, "I'll be your prison husband." I said, "Do you have AIDS?" He says, "It's okay, we can share them." I'm okay with that. I realize I love you as he kisses my neck. And he's holding me down and I am screaming out, "Oh God," but not in the good way. He's having interrelations with my behind and it stings. He tears up my stitches and I'm screaming out for help. Eventually a guard comes in, but it's too late, he's done. They bring me back to the ICU to stitch me up again. They bring it in and say, "Now, we're sorry to inform you, but now you have some AIDS." I have AIDS now too. That makes me very sad. So now I'm laying there in bed, and I might well marry him. So I put a ring on his finger. It's not a real ring, but at least I have a buff guy. I got beaten up in the tent. I got beaten up in the food hall all the time. Now I got a boyfriend. So I smack his ass and I say, "He is mine and he is mine." And everybody who sees him, they will run away and hide. He walks in there and he's all, "I will beat your ass if you touch my boy." And then he grabs my ass, so we have AIDS together. But that's perfectly fine. I already have it now, so I might as well enjoy it. I only had a few months, but now it's eternity. 'cause I only had this time in prison, but now it's freed. And honestly, I feel like he will protect me. So I put my hand in his pocket, and he puts his hand on my back, and we are together. Gay prison love, yeah.